Hello.
Hello. All right, happy Saturday. Good to see y'all. Good to have y'all. Today we are making 3 dishes in 45 minutes, so we are getting started now. The first thing you need to do is preheat your oven to 375. The second thing you need to do is to put your water on for the sweet potato mash. So the sweet potatoes we're going to be cooking in 3 different ways, but the first way we want to make sure that we have water on the stove. So that medium pot, you want water in it. I can't see nobody's face though. Just wait, because they just come in. Welcome. I'm seeing people slowly but surely join the chat. Welcome. Hey, Angelica. Hey, Ariel. Hey, Anna. Good to see y'all. Welcome to the Quarantine Kitchen. The very first thing you guys need to be doing right now, if you are joining me in this session, is preheating your oven to 375 and putting water in your medium pot on the stove to get the water boiling.
I'm letting y'all into this right now, so jump on in, people.
All right, my oven is on, my water is on. I'm letting the people continue to come in. Hey, Parrish. Hey, Julian. Good to see y'all. Hey, Chuck. Hey, Johnny. The very first thing you need to do is put your oven on 375 and get water in your medium pot to boil for your sweet potato mash. Hey, Jaron. Hey, Anthony. I wish I could turn the comments off because it's distracting me. Hey, Ambra. No, on Zoom. The very first thing you need to be doing is getting the comments. I'm sorry, not the comments. Is getting your oven on 375 and getting water in your pot for the sweet potato mash. Very first things you need to do. Hopefully you've already done your prep work. Check your mise en place, check your list, make sure you have all the ingredients. You got your pita, you got your sweet potatoes, you got your chicken. Is it cleaned? Your chicken should already be cleaned. If it's not, this is a great time to start doing that while we let more people to continue to come in. But we're about to get started. So the homework was to trim the chicken fat, to clean the apples, to clean the kale, to scrub your potatoes, and to peel the onions. So I have my clean chicken here. I trimmed off the fat. My clean apples and scrubbed sweet potatoes, my peeled onions, they should be cut in half already to make this easier in a bit. I washed off my kale, but I'm gonna show you guys how to break that down in a moment. I'm gonna put that to the side. Again, the very first thing you need to do is to put your oven on 375 and get water in your pot, your medium pot, and get that water boiling for your sweet potato mash. Those are the first things. Hey, Ma. All right, cool. So the first thing we're making today is going to be the pita chips. So most of the packaged pita that I have used comes in like packages of 5 or 6. So let's take 2. Actually, let's do 3. Let's do 3 of your pita and cut them kind of like a pizza. So we're gonna start with them in half. Yes. All right. Half again here. And then I do one more half here. And I like to leave these kind of oblong and bigger. And then from there, you're going directly into one of your bowls. and take that grapeseed oil and do a slight drizzle, just a little drizzle, not too oily. It's just enough to get them to cook when they're in the oven. And then you're gonna take your all-purpose seasoning. For me, it's Cajun seasoning. And I don't necessarily want to use that on my pita chips, so I'm gonna use the garlic powder. So a little bit of the garlic powder, probably equivalent to those who like to measure, probably equivalent to about a teaspoon or so, teaspoon to teaspoon and a half, and a little bit of salt as well on those pita chips. Little bit of salt, little bit of garlic powder. Make sure you got oil on them. And from here, you're gonna kind of move them around in the bowl. Make sure they're evenly coated. Mine are looking a little dry. So you wanna do a little bit more. I lost the chip here. All right. So from here, we want to put our pita chips on the sheet tray because we're getting ready to bake them in our oven. Hopefully your oven was preheated, but if not, once it's ready, we're putting those directly in. So I'm gonna just do a little transition into my ingredients for a second. Get into this kale in a moment. And then I'm gonna dry off my sheet tray. I sometimes like to use aluminum foil on my sheet trays for easier cleanup. So you don't have to do that, but I like to sometimes just for easier cleanup. All right. Here, line them up. So when you're baking things or roasting things or anything really in the oven, you want to make sure that whatever it is you're putting on your sheet tray is evenly placed. So if they're laying on top of each other like this, they're not going to cook evenly. So make sure that they're spaced out. Make sure that they're even. And my oven is ready, so I'm going to go ahead in. And I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes. Wash my hands off a little bit because my garlic powder and salt. Also going to wash this bowl that my pita chips were in. How you doing over there, Nadine? Oh, I think she muted. Trying to look. Hey, Paris. Hey, Anthony. All right. Cool. Next thing we got is to turn the water off.
Over here.
What'd you say?
I said, we good over here. I got my pita chips. I hope everybody else got their pita chips in the oven.
Answer, everybody looking all right? Pita chips. Okay. For the next step, we're going to get to the chicken. So your ovens, we're getting ready to cook it. We're searing the chicken on the stove and we're finishing it off in the oven. We're going to season it first, but we want to go ahead and be proactive about getting that started. So we have that oven safe pan that we have that's going to go into the oven. We want to go ahead and put that on medium high heat right now. We don't want high heat because if it gets too hot, then your pan starts smoking and things like that. But medium high heat and you should be set. So your chicken, throw it into a bowl that's large enough for you to do the mixing. I have gloves, but if you don't, just make sure you're being conscious of your space and not cross-contaminating things. I like to do one hand with the glove and the other hand for my seasoning. But whatever seasoning you use for your chicken is gonna be what you have for all three of these ingredients. So if that's Cajun for you, if that's a garlic and herb for you, if that's the 21 Salute seasoning from Trader Joe's, that's fine. My personal favorite, or one of them, is this McCormick Cajun seasoning. So season over here with one hand, and then I need some oil, some grapeseed oil. Enough for such that they're like evenly coated, not super oily. We're mixing that up real good. So my Cajun seasoning has salt in it. But if you were using like one of the other seasonings that I suggested that's salt-free, I would add some salt at this step for sure. So massage that in real good. Make sure everything is evenly coated. This is how mine are looking. Let's see for my IG. All right. Okay, I see my water starting to simmer. That's looking good. My pan is getting hot, but I'm not quite where I want to be. So we're gonna go ahead and set this to the side. We got a lot to do. So I'm putting my seasoned chicken that's ready to go next to my pan that's getting hot. And I'm gonna go ahead and start prepping for my sweet potatoes, because those need to be, some of those need to be roasted and the others of them need to go on the stove to boil for the sweet potato mash. So one thing that I always like to do when I'm peeling and breaking down vegetables, as far as the homework, you guys should have already scrubbed down your sweet potatoes, but if you have not, this is a great opportunity to do so. Okay, almost there with my pan, feeling good, feeling close, but we can maybe peel one potato real quick. One thing I just wanted to tell you guys when it comes to prepping and breaking down vegetables and peeling vegetables is to kind of have a scrap bowl versus trying to do that over the trash can or in the sink or something like that, because if you drop it, then you lost your vegetable, right? So you want to make sure that you're using a scrap bowl to kind of keep everything in for better organization, for cleanliness. Yeah. I'm smelling those pita chips. All right. This sweet potato is small. So by the time I am done with this one, so let's peel one sweet potato, guys, and then let's go ahead and work on this chicken. So because we kind of washed our hands from dealing with the chicken, let's start using our tongs so we're not cross-contaminated and having to continue to, you know, wash and what have you. So using our tools, here are my tongs. My pan should be just about hot now. My water is starting to boil too, actually. I'm not quite ready for it, so I'm going to turn it down like just a smidgen, such that it's still boiling and keeping that heat, but not going too crazy. I don't want it to evaporate too much. If yours isn't up to a boil yet, let it do its thing, please, because you want a rolling boil for when we throw those sweet potatoes in. So my pan is hot, it's ready. I'm going to put a little bit of oil in my pan. Ooh, probably about 1 to 2 tablespoons worth. You see my pan's pretty hot, it's already smoking. Turn that pan up. So from here, using our tongs, chicken is going in that hot pan. All right, y'all. So the way my chicken breasts are set up today, 2 of them are huge and the other 2 are like medium. So I'm only able to really fit 3 in. But if you could get all four, that's great. And I'm gonna adjust some things, but the recipe is, gonna be pretty much the same. But I don't want y'all to be confused by the three that are in the pan versus four that I called for. And again, it's not wrong having a little extra chicken. So just so y'all can kind of see what's going on here. Instagram. Sorry, y'all. There you go. There you go. All right. So the chicken is going. The chicken is going. Each side of the chicken is going to get probably about 3 minutes. So the chicken is on. I'm going to guide you. It's on. I'm not going to let you forget about it. But if you know it's smoking too much or what have you, tend to it. But we're going to jump right back to these sweet potatoes. So I'm peeling my second sweet potato now. And the reason that I'm peeling 2 of these sweet potatoes, but not the other 2, is because for the mash, I want something that is presented a little bit more nicely. There is a lot of nutrients that comes from the skin of the sweet potato, which is why we're going to leave them on the other 2. But for these, I want my sweet potatoes to be nice and creamy and pretty. So I don't want those little bits of skin in them. So that's the only reason why we're squeezing these. Why we're peeling these today. These first 2. All right, I peel my second one. I'm gonna check my chicken. It's not looking quite ready, so I'm gonna leave it on for some more time. What we're looking for is a really good golden pecan brown on that chicken, and we're going for that on both sides. The reason why we're cooking this way is because you're sealing flavor on the outside of the chicken and kind of making a crust. And searing any meat or any vegetable, honestly, is you're sealing in and kind of creating that texture. You're creating flavor, and you're starting up 10 minutes. That is for my pita chips. Okay, almost. I need maybe so you want them to be chips, right? You want them to be crunchy. Mine are almost. I really only need 3 more minutes. So I'm gonna do that here. Timer, 3 minutes. On, good to go. See how my chicken is looking. I think it's because my breasts are so big, it's taking a little longer, but we getting there. So I'm gonna turn that water back up for my mash, and I'm gonna go ahead and dice those into large pieces for the sweet potato mash. So y'all can see what I'm doing. Move my scrap bowl out of the way and my extras. Here we go. Instagram. Do this. All right. So we want to create a flat surface when working with these vegetables that roll, right? So you want to take it and hold it securely and cut off just a little bit such that now I can put it here and it won't move. And I have so much more control now over what it is I'm doing. So from here, again, these are large chunks because we're whipping these up. So cut in half once. This is a small sweet potato, so I'll probably do thirds from here. You got 2 halves. 1, 2. So again, large chunks. Same thing with this one. This is a little bigger, so we'll have more pieces. And that little butt that this is edible. We can use this. We're gonna throw this into the pot as well. So again, create that flat surface such that we are cutting safely. And then cut in half. Here, now we have 2 halves. Cut this maybe into 5 or 6 chunks. All right, I feel like my chicken should be ready for a flip. Yeah, all right. Okay, See that good golden brown there? That's what we're going for. That good crust too, that's what we're going for on the outside. Flipping it over, finish on the other side. All right, I got 15 seconds left on those pita chips. Within that time, I can turn around quickly. Hopefully your sweet potatoes are done. If not, keep breaking those down, chopping those up, and we are ready to put those sweet potatoes into that boiling water. That's my timer for my pita chips. I'm going to take that out. Yeah, there we go. They should be nice and crunchy. Mine have a nice little golden brown on the outside. That's fine. I like that. They're going to be seasoned well. I can smell them. The other great thing about using aluminum foil is that, again, with the kind of easy cleanup, I can now set this aside. I'm going to wash this pan, and we'll be ready to use it for something else. So, so we can cool. I'm going to bring my cutting board back over here. We're going to stop for a second, quick to purpose for our next segment, which is the other two sweet potatoes, and we're going to batonnet. And batonnet basically means to cut into small batons. So there's a baton and then a batonnet, which are a little bit smaller than that. So again, make sure that you've already cleaned off your sweets and scrubbed them. They're looking good. I scrubbed mine earlier, but I'm just giving them another rinse down. And then from here, again, make that flat surface. And we're gonna cut from here into thin strips. So I'm gonna bring this a little closer so you guys can see. You see these guys? And that came off of this potato, right? So we're cutting them into these kind of strips. Once you've created that flat surface, maybe like a 1/2 inch. All right, so I could keep cutting this, but I know some of you might have some difficulty gripping at this point once you cut through like half of it, right? So from here, let's use this other flat surface we now have. We can still make more batons, just slice this way now, but we still want to make sure that the thickness is the same, right? So here, slice, slice, slice. I'm smelling that chicken. I need to turn around and check that. All right, almost. My breasts are so big, so I really want to make sure I'm giving them time. I'm gonna just set a personal timer of 2 minutes real quick to come back and check that. You feel like your chicken breasts are not as big and they are already good and golden brown on both sides, and you want to pop them in the oven, please do that and set a timer for 10 minutes. All right, so we have these slices, right? From these slices, we're going to cut them into batons. So let's start with the bigger pieces that we had, the originals from here. Hold on a second. So I don't know if you guys can kind of see this. I have this towel under my cutting board for a reason. The reason that is to make sure that my cutting board does not move while I'm working. If it moves while I'm working, then I might slice myself or cut something else. So just a kitchen tip, a pro tip, make sure that there is something under your cutting board so it's not moving like mine just was. Now look at how secure this is, you know? So back to what I was doing. Batons, like so. This is what we're going for. We're going to roast these, and these are going to go a little closer so you guys can see. This is what we're going for. All right. Okay, I'm ready to put my chicken in. I don't know if you guys have already done that, but I'm going to do that now. All right. Okay. Chicken, 10 minutes. Chicken, 10 minutes. Cool. All right. Where's my sheet tray? So this sheet tray that we use for the pita chips, we're also going to use for the batons. So we're right here with it. Batons need to be seasoned though. So get a bowl. All right, I got a bowl. All of these sweet potatoes are in batons, guys. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? We 25 minutes in. We got our chicken in the oven. Our pita chips are already done. One of our, oh, these are kind of long. So I'm gonna cut those. You see how these are a little bit longer. You want them kind of to be uniform, right? So maybe those longer ones I'll cut in half. Our pita chips are done. Our chicken is in. One of the ways we're doing the sweet potatoes is already on the stove. We should be boiling pretty well there. Oh, Lord, we forgot to salt the water. Salt everything, guys. I know salt is not always your best friend in excess, but salt is your best friend with just a bit, right? So salting that water is building the flavor, right? It's getting that first step, that first level of flavor within it. I probably put maybe like 2 tablespoons worth. That's cool. Chicken is in. Getting these batons moving. I'm gonna just push through this because we need to get moving with our other stuff. Again, flat surface there. These I won't use, but I'll just put in my scrap bowl. That was kind of big. Gonna come back to him and cut it in half. All right. How we looking on time, guys?
13 minutes.
All right. All right, from here, with the batons, we are going to take the same grapeseed oil, the way that we kind of toss them for the pita. We're going to do the same thing, take that grapeseed oil, and this is when those elevated ingredients come in. So your cinnamon and nutmeg and cumin are things that I love using with sweet potatoes. You can still pull it off without those things. This is quite a bit of sweet potato. You can still pull it off without those things. But I like those things to elevate. So as you see, I just need grapeseed oil. I put a little salt in my batons. I'm gonna do a little sprinkle of cinnamon. If I can get it open. Sprinkle of cinnamon, probably about a half a teaspoon. And then cumin and nutmeg, maybe like a quarter of a teaspoon. Only a little bit. Kind of elevate that. We want to toss. You can use your hand if you're not as comfortable with this toss situation. And then from here, we're going to lay these. They kind of look like sweet potato fries, right? Lay these out again, evenly on the pan. They should not be on top of each other. I have quite a bit here, so I'm just reserve some because we don't want to slow down that cooking process at all or have them cook unevenly. Even tray, looking good, looking good. I'm going in the oven. Chicken looking pretty too. Love to see it. 5 minutes left on that. So there's 10 minutes for our sweet potatoes. I see on my timer, I got 5 minutes left on my chicken. So when my chicken comes out, I'm putting 5-minute timer on for the sweets. We're gonna wash this down. I'm just gonna set these things to the side. You will need this bowl again, so I'm just gonna set these kind of scraps and extras I have to the side for a moment. We can maybe use these a little bit later after our time, but it's time to transition over to the kale and the apples and the other veggies. So I am gonna prep that real quick. Just kind of do a reset, wipe your station down, make sure that you're clean and organized. Cleaning as you go is a very important part of the process. All right, got my towel here that I've been wiping with. And now we are gonna set up our station for our veg chop, and for just the 3 different things that we're making. So you should have 2 bowls and 1 like plate or platter in front of you as we prep all of these veggies that are next to come. So, tongs right here. Later. Right. All right. Y'all feeling good? Y'all feeling good? I know it's moving fast, but think about all the stuff you learned, the terms you learned, the pro tips. If we are not able to get those last little bits in of plating everything in this content, we're going to transition over to my Instagram live. I'm already live on Instagram now. Eat with JB. Eat with JB. I am transitioning over to my Instagram live as soon as we are done here. Additionally, for this free cooking class, if you are so inclined to donate, my hashtag and Venmo are also Eat with JB. All right, I'm ready for my veg. I got my 2 bowls here and my 1 plate or platter. Just use this, and we're gonna start with the kale. Your kale should already be cleaned. Mine is. And with cleaning kale, some people might have bought a bag of chopped kale. This step, you don't even have to do it. But for those who didn't, if you have the stem, pull right here. This is your stem. Other hand, right here. Good to go. Good to go. I have a lot of kale here, so I'm not using all of this, but I just want you guys to see how easy it is to clean these off of the stalk. You can do this yourself. Again, hold here, pull here. Hold here, pull here. Scraps, again, right in my scrap bowl. All right, I'm gonna do 1 more, and I feel like that's enough for what we need for today. All right, the kale is going, we're cutting the kale the same way for all of it, but we're splitting it into 2 separate bowls. So half of it is gonna be for our packed pita pocket, and the other half is gonna be for the kale saute. Oh, that's a timer. What's the timer for? My chicken. Is it my chicken? I think it's my chicken. All right, I just want to show y'all this real quick. Oh no, that was for my chicken. What was that for? I don't know. So with kale, take a few leaves, right? Get a big leaf. A leaf that's got a good amount of surface area. It's a decent one. We got some good surface area. And then the little leaves, the scrappier ones, we're gonna kind of make a stack. Got some little scrappier ones here. And with this, you're gonna, the term chiffonade means to roll like a cigar and then slice thin. So you're gonna take this little bunch that you created, bring it a little closer, roll it up, and now you kind of have something more, you know, secure here. And slice very thinly. Now we got shredded kale. All right, I'm gonna do that with this entire bowl, guys. I'm gonna do it quickly because we don't got a lot of time left. I'm sorry, I gave you bad instructions. One of the bowls, for the chiffonade kale, half of the kale is going in a bowl for our packed pita pocket, and the other half is going on the platter. The platter is for our kale and red onion saute. Oh, that's my timer again. That's why you gotta pay attention to your stuff when it goes off, guys. All right, let's check this chicken. All right, so I waited an additional 2 minutes, but this chicken is looking lovely. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Looking lovely. Nice golden brown, looking plump, feeling good, firm. So, one of these breasts you are leaving out. The other 3 breasts you're going to put in the refrigerator. So, for me, it's just 2 because mine are bigger. I'm sorry, you're going to put it in the freezer. The reason that you're doing this is because you're breaking down the chicken to use in a chicken salad and to use in a kale salad that's going in your pita pocket. And you want to cool it down a bit. It's just going to make it a little easier to work with in a second. So once you take that chicken out, again, reserve one of those chicken breasts to leave out, and the other should go in the fridge or in the freezer real quick to cool off. Our sweet potatoes were looking good. But, okay, so because we left it in for an additional 2 minutes, we probably at about 7 minutes right now with the sweet potatoes, and I am going to check the consistency of it. All right. They're not quite ready. I'm going to turn my pan, rotate it, let it keep cooking. Close that. Cool. This is a good amount of kale for what we need. So again, I'm going to slide this to the side. I'm going to put half of my kale on that platter, like I said, and the other half we can leave here in the bowl. Here and here. Cool. So let's transition from kale to turning our stove off. Your sweet potatoes are ready. That is on the stove boiling. You can go ahead and turn those off. Next, we have the apples. So I rinsed off my board. So thus far, just to kind of check in with you guys, let you know what we got going on. One bowl that has our kale in it. This is what we're packing in our packed pita pocket. We're going to make some batons with apples. We're going to take those roasted sweet potatoes, put those in here. If you have the dill, that's a great addition to this. We're going to season it a little bit with some salt, pepper, lemon juice, and the vinaigrette of your choice. You put it in here, and then one of those chicken breasts, you're going to shred it, put it in here, toss it together, and pack it in your pita pocket. And then here with your platter, we're going to mash those sweet potatoes up. We're going to whip them good. this is the opportunity for you to add that cinnamon, that nutmeg, that butter, that almond milk. And then we're gonna saute up this kale, some onions, some garlic, put that on the top, and then slice our chicken breast that's sitting out to put it on top of the sweet potatoes. And this bowl is for our chicken apple salad. So we're gonna transition to do the apples now. All right, let's my knife off a little bit. So again, apples are a little easier to work with when it comes to that flat surface situation because they kind of have this flat bottom, which is fine, instead of them rolling, but you still use the same approach because cutting them is kind of the same, right? So you're cutting around the core, and again, now you have a flat surface for this and a flat surface for this, and there's so much more control. And you're gonna cut again around the core. In my scrap bowl, all right. So half of these we're gonna do, because we just learned how to do batons, use that exact same approach on this first apple. Cut them into little strips. I can probably get 3 out of 1 half. Let me move this closer so y'all can see a little better what I'm doing. All right. Batons, again, same thing. So taking this, these batons, that leg going directly into the kale salad, which is we're stuffing our pita pockets with. I'm looking on time. All right, we already at 4:41. So I really
you can go about to about 4:50. So you got like 8 minutes here, then you can transfer over.
All right, cool. I got 8 minutes. So I'm gonna move a little quickly with this, y'all, just because I want y'all to see. All right. Instagram Live. I know I've got some people that are already tuned in over there, but please, guys, I am not going to stop cooking when this time is up. I want you to see every one of these dishes. So please follow me on Instagram. Tune into my Instagram Live so you can get the rest of this good food. The batons are in. The other apple, you should have 3, and it really should be like 1.5, 1.5. But I'm just going to do 1 and 1 just, for the sake of time right now. I think actually Nadine asked me at the beginning if she would be okay with doing 2 versus 1 because she ate one of her apples for breakfast. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I did. I ate one.
So with this, we're going dice. So this is these were thinner. The other ones were thinner. These are a little thicker. So if you see the consistency here versus here, the thinness, you're a little bit thicker with this because we're going for a dice. Because that's going in our chicken apple salad. It's giving more of a chunky feel is what we're going for. All right. Here. All right. See? And then like this. One way, turn it. All right. Keep going. I'm gonna do a little slower. Y'all can see. All right. Half, like so. Like as Tabitha Brown would say, like so, like that. Turn it. Do strips here. 3, 4. Turn it again. And we're cubing those. All right. Bowl number 2 for our chicken apple salad. All right. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to turn around and check on those sweet potato batons. I feel like they're just about ready. Y'all doing good? Y'all feeling good? I know it's moving fast, but it's gonna be worth every bit of you moving around. I promise. Shout out to Steflo Dollar, my good friend from Howard University, who is a DJ for the tunes that you hear in the background. All right. My sweet potatoes were done, so those are on the stove. I'm letting those cool off. The sweet potato batons, and we have our diced apples here. We have our batonnet apples and the chopped kale here. And again, you should have your already chopped kale on the platter over here. So from here, what am I? 4:45. All right. How many minutes I got?
Got about 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. All right. So I'm trying to see what I want for y'all's last little push. Let's do the saute, or at least prep for the saute. So let's transition over to our red onion. Cut off this bottom bit. Cut off this bottom bit here. See, like the butt of the onion, we're cutting that off, and we're just gonna slice it thinly, right from here. All right, so when it starts to kind of do that at the end, you can't grip it, you can still use this. Move it on that flat surface that you have. Go in this way. But scraps, strips, foul. All right, I'm gonna show y'all real quick how to dice an onion, the way that Gordon Ramsay taught me to. And as soon as I'm done with this, we're gonna transition over to Instagram Live. So with dicing an onion, you're gonna go with this flat, you cut it in half, right? Go with this flat side here. Now, we're gonna do this 3 ways in order to get this perfect dice. So you have a flat side, you're holding it securely, and we're gonna make levels from the bottom. So watch how I'm slicing in here, but I'm not going all the way to the top. Once I get 3/4 of the way in, I'm gonna stop. Take that out. And then I'm gonna come right above that and make another level. Again, 3/4 of the way in and stop. This is a small onion, so I don't need to do it as many times, but you'll probably make like 3 or 4 of those levels. And then from here, turn. I'm gonna turn this way so y'all can see. And I'm gonna do rows like this. So, woo. Slice again, not all the way to the top. It's not it. It's not it. All right. We're sliced here. We got our rows here. We got our rows here. And now, perfectly diced onion. Good to go. Put that in the bowl where the apples are. The diced apples are, because that's going in the chicken apple salad. All right. That's not quite enough. So I'm going to do the same thing. Again, I was kind of showing that so y'all can see both of them. Ooh, I got like 2 minutes. Again, we're transitioning over to Instagram Live. We are transitioning over to Instagram Live as soon as we are done in 2 minutes. Nadine, you got any final parting words? I apologize to everybody that doesn't have additional time. I was trying to let y'all kind of log on in our first few minutes, so I think we lost a bit, but hopefully you've learned a lot of good tips here today that are extremely transferable. I really appreciate all of you for tuning in. This was my first experience cooking on camera instructionally for people. So it's kind of seeing how this is going. If you have enjoyed this experience and want to donate, I am Eat with JB on both Cash App and Venmo. I appreciate anything that you are willing to give. Hopefully you guys are staying safe and eating well in quarantine. Yeah. I'm not just on Instagram, but this is where we are for now for Be Well.
So everyone who's on here will also get a copy of the recipe. So that is coming to your inbox so that you can follow the directions. I say continue to follow. And then once I get off of the other one, I'll jump back on and show you my plating. I was lucky to get a behind the scenes tip of how to create this. So I'm going to be cooking alongside y'all still while I'm still while I'm about to jump into the spiritual workshop. So keep cooking. You can join JB on his IG at Eat with JB. And I love you guys and I appreciate you and please be well. Bye, everyone.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna pause for like
3
minutes so we could transition on over to Instagram Live.